Next, from the House chamber in Springfield, we talk with Illinois' newest state legislator, Christopher C.D. Davidsmeyer. We hear how he came to be appointed to the House and what he thinks of some of the major issues that will come up for a vote in early January. This runs about 7 minutes.
State Representative C.D. Davidsmeyer. Christopher is your given name, and you go by
Correct.
C.D., I understand?
Yep. I've gone by CD since I was probably 4 years old, and it's stuck ever since. It worked then, and it works now. So,
well, we thank you for joining us, the Illinois Channel, and congratulations on your just being sworn in as the newest state representative. You're a young man. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be selected to replace Representative Jim Watson from Jacksonville, who just recently left.
It was a process. Jim Watson stepped down, and it's been a process with applications and interviews, and I think it was a very good process. I got to meet a lot of good people along the way, and I look forward to meeting others as we move along.
Now you have, as I believe, a little bit of government experience at the local level. Tell us about that, and how did you ever think of getting into government as a way of making a living?
I started off on the city council about 5 or 6 years ago, and I started out on the finance committee and worked my way up to chairman of the finance committee. Numbers are obviously important in this game, and so it's very important that I stay on top of that.
I understand that you worked at one time with Congressman Shimkus, and you were out in Washington. How long were you with him, and for what years?
I was out with Congressman Shimkus for about 2.5 years. I left to move back to Jacksonville in 2006. Great experience. He has a great staff, and I learned a lot while I was out there. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Really, he's probably the reason why I decided to get involved.
And now I guess he's your congressman, is he not, representing?
He is not.
He's not. Who's
Congressman Aaron Schock.
Oh, Schock, right.
Is who represents Jacksonville.
On the other hand, you know John Shimkus well, and now you also know, I presume, Rodney Davis, who used to also be on John Shimkus' staff and is now the representative-elect.
Correct.
For the, I forget, 18th, 13th is it? Okay.
Yes.
So that's not too bad, coming in as both the state representative and then knowing well a number of the local Congress people.
It's good. It's good to have those relationships. I look forward to working with them on issues that affect all of us, and we've got, as you said, a good working relationship. That'll be great.
You know, we just, as we were watching the swearing-in ceremony here, and you had family, one of your family members is Cindy Davidsmeyer, who we in the press corps knew because she was long time the representative, the press spokesman for the Senate Democrats. Now, how is it that you happen to be a Republican and she's a Democrat?
You know, things work in crazy ways. We all find ways to get along, and she's great, and she's going to be very helpful in helping me with how things work out here in Springfield, and I think she's wished me the best and has offered her counsel. So
yeah, surely as long as she's been working on the inner circles of power here in the state capitol, she could really tell you the lay of the land.
Yeah.
But as we have you look over your shoulder for a minute at the board, and we see the names in the background. The name Davidsmeyer is up there. What do you think when you look at that?
That's a little bit, not exactly overwhelming, but it's exciting to see. I didn't think they could fit that long of a name up there, but it's good to see it up there.
Now, what are some of the issues? You mentioned that you're a numbers guy. Obviously, the state budget is one of the big issues. There's going to be some really big issues coming up now that you're a member of the lame duck legislative session coming up in the first week of January. But what are some of the issues that you're predisposed to have focused on that are really kind of in your wheelhouse?
You know, on the local level with local government, we deal a lot with pensions. Pensions are the #1 driving force with property taxes for police and fire. So pensions has always been an issue that we've looked at and is at the forefront of our minds at that level. Obviously at this level it's going to be at the forefront of our minds because it's the big black cloud in the room.
And again, going back to what may be coming up before the House in January, they're in that first week, is the idea of cost shifting of pensions. Have you decided where you stand on that issue?
You know, I have a very hard time with that. You know, a group that was charged with dealing with that, passing the buck, and that's the way I see it, is passing the buck. You know, there's a lot of work, and there's going to have to be a lot of compromise, but that cost shift is going to be a tough issue to look at.
And let's just give us a broader view of some of the issues. How would you describe yourself? Are you a conservative, a moderate, and just where do you kind of fall on the political spectrum?
I'm definitely a fiscal conservative. I really hesitate to put too many labels on anyone. I don't want my labels getting into the House floor before I ever walk in to talk to anybody. It's not that I'm afraid to stand behind what I believe. It's that I don't want people to think they know me before I get a chance to meet them.
Fair enough. And now, as you are a member, what is the process? You've been sworn in. Does anyone give you a briefing and say, here's how the system works, or are you already familiar with the parliamentary system? Do you get someone from the Republican caucus that shows you the ropes? So how does this work?
You know, I hope I'm sure there's a number of people around that are willing to help show me the ropes. I understand the parliamentary process, but it's different for every level, so it'll be a little bit of learning, but we're ready to get going.
And then lastly, we mentioned before your family. You're married and you have some kids. Tell us just a little bit about your family.
Obviously, you can't do this without the support of your family. My wife, Kristen, my boys, Lennox, who's 3, and Pax, who's going to be 8 months next week. Obviously, my parents, my sister, aunts, uncles, everybody's behind me, and it's good to have the support of them as well as family, or as well as other friends.
All right, well, Christopher C.D. Davidsmeyer, thanks for joining us in the Illinois Channel. Congratulations again on your appointment.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You're watching the Illinois Channel, an independent nonprofit corporation formed to provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of Illinois state government and other public affairs events taking place across Illinois.